I am a boy from Kerala. I eat coconut. I wear a lungai and speak Malayalam. And my best friend is from Rajasthan. He eats spicy food, wears a turban and colorful clothes. Dash. This shows dash.
Right choice. Diversity is the best answer. Groups of people who may speak a certain language, follow a particular religion, live in specific regions, etc., may be discriminated against as their customs or practices may be seen as inferior. Well picked. True is the correct answer. The view that cultures, races, and ethnicities, particularly those of minority groups, deserve special acknowledgement of their differences within a dominant political culture. You got it? Your choice multiculturalism is right. Caste system was so deep-rooted that it was difficult to come out of the predefined social levels. The son of a potter could only become a dash and nothing else. Well done. Potter is the right choice. Identify the person. He fought for the weaker sections of the society. Good job. Your answer, Ambedkar, works well here. The belief in the superiority of one race over another, which often results in discrimination and prejudice towards people based on their race or ethnicity. Smart pick. Racism is the correct choice. What are the frying utensils in Kerala known as? Nice selection. China is the correct and valid answer. Claire, I'm sorry. You won't be able to come inside of the shop. We don't have space for people in wheelchairs. This is an example of dash. You're right. Discrimination is the correct answer.
A person from Mahar caste could only engage in cleaning the garbage and clearing dead carcasses from the village. It is an example of dash.
Nicely done. Caste-based discrimination is a solid answer. This is the way boys should behave, and that is the way girls should behave. What we create when we fix people into certain image. Well reasoned. Stereotype is the correct choice. Name the famous wool of Ladakh. Excellent choice. Pashmina wool is the right answer. Brad, you want to do what? Don't you know that only girls do ballet? Boys don't do ballet? This is an example of dash. Nice work. You chose stereotype and it is correct. This image shows dash. You chose discrimination, and it is correct. Dash was the first person from the caste who completed his college education and went to England to become a dash. Clear logic. Your choice, Dr. Ambedkar lawyer, is sound and 100% true. Identify whether the following statements are prejudice or stereotype. Nobody talks to Krishna as he is dark. Good thinking. Prejudice is the right answer.
The customs, beliefs and art, way of life and social organization of a particular area or region called dash.
Great thinking. Culture is the right choice. What does the statement represent? People of different religion, caste, creed, language, etc. lives together. Valid point. Unity is true.
Dash belonged to the Mahar caste. He had suffered various kinds of discrimination right from his childhood.
Solid response. Dr. B.R. Ambedkar is a valid choice. A girl is not allowed to go to school beyond standard 5 or 6 is an example of discrimination of dash. Great job. Gender-based discrimination is the accurate answer. When we tend to see people of a particular race into a predefined image, this is called making of dash. on track. Stereotype is the correct answer.
People elect their representatives to govern the country and to make law and policies for the country.
Correct response. Indirect democracy is the most accurate answer.
Treating people negatively on grounds of age, disability, gender, culture, nationality, religion, etc.
Sharp thinking. Discrimination is the right choice.
There are major religions in the world, and followers of all these religions are found in India.
Bravo, 8 is the answer. A state is where people have the freedom to practice and follow the religion of their choice. Perfect. Secular is the correct choice.
Don't cry. You are a boy. Boys are brave. They don't cry. This statement is an example of
Strong choice. Stereotype is the right answer.
The ideas of justice, equality, and fraternity are found in the of the Indian Constitution.
Excellent. Preamble is a brilliant choice.
What is your opinion on statement "a life in the city is easy"? People here are spoilt and lazy. Smart move. Agree is an accurate answer. The total number of languages enlisted in the 8th schedule of the Constitution of India are. Correct, 22 is the right answer. Name the first leader of India who shared his first experience of caste-based discrimination. Right again? Dr. B.R. Ambedkar is a valid answer.
They are supposed to be soft and submissive in nature. These stereotypes are examples of
Exactly. Girls make sense, and it is right choice. Girls can't play rugby is labeling girls into a certain group. This is an example of Great job. Stereotype is the accurate answer. Which of the given below can be considered as example of unity of diversity among Indians?
Correct response. Celebrating all festivals is the most accurate answer.
This organ of the government resolves the disputes and ensures that the laws are followed. You got it? Your choice judiciary is right. People have right to vote irrespective of caste, creed, religion, or economic conditions. Valid point. Universal adult franchise is true. The Indian Constitution adopted a look. That is, all religions were equal before law.
Right choice. Secular is the best answer.
When we tend to see some persons into a predefined image, this is called making of
Excellent. Stereotype is a brilliant choice.
Dr. Ambedkar is the first leader of India who shared his first experience of caste-based.
Smart pick. True is the correct choice.
Is a term that people belonging to so-called lower castes use to dress themselves.
Nice selection. Dalit is the correct and valid answer.
The supreme power rests in the hands of the one person or a group of people.
Solid response.
Dictatorship is a valid choice.
In India, nearly % are illiterate due to lack of opportunities and discrimination.
Strong choice. 40 is the right answer.
When someone judges a person without proper knowledge about him/her, it is called
Great thinking. Prejudice is the right choice.
A common stereotype about Muslim is that
They are not interested in educating girls. Sharp thinking. True is the right choice.
A type of government where people can actively participate in the political affairs.
Right again. Democracy is a valid answer. Having the levels of government that is central, state, and local is an example of. You're right. Federal form of government is the correct answer. There are more than dash languages, and even more dialects being spoken in India. Nice work. You chose 1600 and it is correct.
What does this mean? To judge other people negatively or see them as inferior?
Well reasoned. Prejudice is the correct choice. Setting a fixed image on a particular person or thing which is often not true. Excellent choice. Stereotyping is the right answer. Dash is when one is treated as inferior to others because of his differences. Smart move. Discrimination is an accurate answer. Dr. Ambedkar suffered discrimination when he was only of 9 years in school. Correct. True is the right answer.
All 8 major religions are practiced in India, which has over 1,600 languages.
Well done. True is the right choice. On rural people, more than 50% of all Indians live in villages. True or false? On track. True is the correct answer. Who was the chairman of the drafting committee of the Constitution of India? Clear logic. Your choice, Dr. B.R. Ambedkar, is sound and 100% true. Judging other people negatively or seeing them as inferior is known as dash. Bravo. Prejudice is the answer. Girls are soft-hearted and cry easily. Boys don't cry. This is an example of. Good thinking. Stereotype is the right answer. Dash Anne and Dash fought to release themselves from the grasp of money lenders. Good job. Your answer, peasants and tribals, works well here. What is a key value that unites all Indians, according to the Constitution? Perfect. Equality of all persons is the correct choice. Discrimination happens when people act on their prejudices or stereotypes. Well picked. True is the correct answer. The weaker and backward sections of the society are protected by the dash. Nicely done. Constitution is a solid answer. Prejudice means to judge other people negatively or see them as inferior. Exactly. True makes sense, and it is right choice. The state of being equal, especially in status, rights, and opportunities. You chose equality, and it is correct. Gandhiji coined the phrase, unity in diversity, to describe the country. Bravo. False is the answer. The Constitution of India gives power to the state to favor dash groups. Well picked. Disadvantaged is the correct answer.
When did Dr. Ambedkar experience of caste-based discrimination took place?
Exactly. 1901 makes sense, and it is right choice. Which community was considered as untouchables in the Bombay presidency? Right choice. Mahar is the best answer. Pick the correct hierarchical order of the caste system in ancient India. You chose Brahmins Shkriyas Vaishir Sundaras, and it is correct.
Type of government where rulers often inherit their power from a parent. Well reasoned. Monarchy is the correct choice.
In which state of India there is less distance between school and home? Ooh.
Well done. Kerala is the right choice.
What does government do to help the women teachers to reach the school?
Excellent. Good bus service is a brilliant choice.
In which state of India is there less distance between home and school?
Smart pick. Kerala is the correct choice. To judge other people negatively or see them as inferior is called dash.
Clear logic. Your choice prejudice is sound and 100% true.
How many languages are recognized as people's mother tongues in India?
Good job. Your answer 1600 works well here. Oneness despite of diversity in emotions and patriotism is called dash.
Great job. Unity is the accurate answer. Discrimination or separation of people on the basis of color and race. Perfect. Apartheid is the correct choice. Which of the following do not comes under urban local self-government? Sharp thinking. Zilla Parishad is the right choice.
Dr. Bimrao Ambedkar is considered as dash of the Indian Constitution.
Nicely done. Father is a solid answer. A strong feeling or belief about a person without reviewing the facts. Valid point. Prejudice is true. When someone judges another person in a negative way, it is called dash. Solid response. Prejudice is a valid choice.
In which year Bimrao consider the father of the Indian Constitution?
Correct response. 1891 to 1956 is the most accurate answer.
Dash occurs when people are treated badly due to their lack of money.
Smart move. Inequality is an accurate answer.
Dr. B.R. Ambedkar believed the Dalits must fight against caste system.
Strong choice. True is the right answer. Those who were placed at the top of the caste is known as upper caste. Excellent choice. True is the right answer. Which of the following helps in maintaining political unity in India? Correct. Indian Constitution is the right answer. Born in Mahar caste, he fought for the weaker sections of the society. Good thinking. Bar Ambedkar is the right answer. Dash takes place when people act on their stereotypes and prejudice. Nice work. You chose discrimination, and it is correct. When we baselessly fix people into one image, we are creating a dash. Great thinking. Stereotype is the right choice. Stereotypes stop us from looking at each person as a dash individual. You're right. Unique is the correct answer.
Judging someone because of their skin color is an example of dash.
Nice selection. Prejudice is the correct and valid answer.
A classification of people based on national origin and/or culture. Right again. Ethnicity is a valid answer. Dash takes place when people act on their prejudices and stereotype. You got it. Your choice discrimination is right. Dash community was treated as untouchable in the Bombay presidency.
On track. Mahar is the correct answer. Geographical as well as dash factors encourage diversity in India. Smart move. Historical is an accurate answer. Monarch is the head of the country and hold the supreme authority. Clear logic. Your choice monarchy is sound and 100% true. We have more than 1,600 languages that are people's mother tongue. Valid point. True is true. Stereotypes can affect how people treat each other. True or false? Perfect. True is the correct choice.
What is the word used when people judge other people negatively?
On track. Prejudice is the correct answer.
What was Jita, Ambedkar's caste, which was considered untouchable?
Nicely done. Mahar is a solid answer. The government refers to the lower caste group of people as dash. Well reasoned. Scheduled caste is the correct choice. Those who place themselves at the top of the ladder called dash. Well done. Upper caste is the right choice. In which type of government? The people elect their government? Excellent choice. Democracy is the right answer. Who takes the decision to ban and introduce new currency notes? Well picked. Central National is the correct answer. On the basis of discrimination, lower caste people are called as? Nice selection. Dalit is the correct and valid answer. The differences in race, religion, caste, etc. is known as dash.
You chose diversity, and it is correct.
An unreasonable thought based on a false idea is known as dash.
Bravo! Prejudice is the answer.
What stops us from looking at each person as unique individual? Or smart pick. Being stereotypes is the correct choice.
In earlier times, Indian society was divided on basis of dash.
Correct. Caste system is the right answer. Dr. B.R. Ambedkar emerged as the pioneer of rights of Dalits. Solid response. True is a valid choice. The disabled children are now known as the children with dash. You're right. Special needs is the correct answer. When American women got the voting right, and when it started? Right choice. 1920, 1848 is the best answer. Discrimination happens when people act on their dash or dash. You got it. Your choice, prejudices or stereotypes, is right. Dr. Ambedkar is the father of dash and is the leader of dash. Nice work. You chose Indian Constitution, Dalits, and it is correct. People makes laws and policies by which they are governed. Great thinking. Direct democracy is the right choice. Stereotypes means to fix people into one particular image. Good thinking. True is the right answer. Villagers are forced to migrate to cities in search of dash. Correct response. Work is the most accurate answer. Indian law does not believe in caste system. True or false? Great job. True is the accurate answer. Dr. Ambedkar had also fought for the rights of upper caste. Strong choice. False is the right answer.
Dash is considered as the father of Indian constitution.
Sharp thinking. Dr. Bhimrao Ambedkar is the right choice.
In the caste system, the topmost position is occupied by.
Right again. Brahmins is a valid answer.
Who is the author of the book, The Discovery of India? Exactly. Jawaharlal Nehru makes sense, and it is right choice.
The rights guaranteed by our constitution is called as.
Good job. Your answer, fundamental rights, works well here.
Historical and geographical factors influence regional.
Excellent. Diversity is a brilliant choice.
We have languages that are using as a mother tongues.
Solid response. 1600 is a valid choice.
Oversimplified generalizations about people are called. Excellent. Stereotypes is a brilliant choice. Both Kerala and Ladakh regions were influenced by Dash. Great job. Chinese and Arab traders is the accurate answer.
Article 14 of the Indian Constitution guarantees Dash.
You chose equality before law, and it is correct.
For what purpose did Dr. Ambedkar go to England?
You're right. To become a lawyer is the correct answer.
Dr. Bhimrao Ambedkar is considered as father of Dash. Right choice. Indian Constitution is the best answer. As per stereotype thinking, what does crying mean? Good job. Your answer, a sign of weakness, works well here.
Which was the caste that Dr. Ambedkar belonged to?
Bravo, Maharas is the answer.
The number of major religions in the world is Dash. Well picked. 7 is the correct answer.
Constitution of India calls the Harijans as Dash.
Valid point. Scheduled caste is true. In India, one of the reasons for discrimination is sharp thinking. Diversity is the right choice. When we fix people into one image, we create a Dash. Smart pick. Stereotype is the correct choice.
The Constitution of India came to force on Dash.
You got it. Your choice, 26th January 1950, is right.
Later in his life, Ambedkar was converted to Dash.
Correct response. Buddhism is the most accurate answer.
How many major religions are there in the world?
Smart move. 8 is an accurate answer. A biased opinion based on insufficient knowledge. Nice work. You chose prejudice, and it is correct.
Dash fought for rights along with Mahatma Gandhi. Good thinking. Dr. Bhimrao Ambedkar is the right answer.
A government that takes over by the use of force.
Nice selection. Dictatorship is the correct and valid answer. Dr. Bhimrao Ambedkar went to England to become a Dash. Clear logic. Your choice lawyer is sound and 100% true.
The statement "they don't cry" is used for whom? Well done. Boys is the right choice.
Boys generally Dash. The society refers to this.
Strong choice. Don't cry is the right answer. Differences in people exist on various grounds.
Correct. True is the right answer. Dr. Ambedkar went to meet his father in Dash. Right again. Koregav is a valid answer. The term Dalit is preferred to the word Dash. On track. Untouchable is the correct answer.
Dr. Bhimrao Ambedkar was born in Dash family.
Nicely done. Mahar is a solid answer.
Dash fought for rights of the Dalits community.
Well reasoned. Dr. Bhimrao Ambedkar is the correct choice.
Which region or state produces pashmina wool?
Exactly. Ladakh makes sense and it is right choice.
Two Samir do thought that Samir one do not know.
Excellent choice. Hindi is the right answer.
Who was known as the father of the nation? E.
Great thinking. Mohandas Karamchand Gandhi is the right choice.
India became a secular country in which year?
Perfect. 1976 is the correct choice. Fought for the weaker sections of the society. Smart pick. Ambedkar is the correct choice. Who is known as father of Indian Constitution? Valid point. Dr. Ambedkar is true. There are dash major religions in the world. You chose 8, and it is correct. Who is the father of our Indian Constitution? Correct response. Dr. B.R. Ambedkar is the most accurate answer.
We can be prejudiced about many things like
Solid response. All of these is a valid choice. Who was the world's most renowned physicist? Strong choice. Dr. Stephen Hawking is the right answer.
Fixing people into one image is called dash.
Well picked. Stereotype is the correct answer.
Mahatma Gandhi faced discrimination in dash.
Good job. Your answer, South Africa, works well here.
People in villages do not like to use dash.
You got it. Your choice, modern technology, is right. There are how many religions in the world? Great job. 8 is the accurate answer. Who is considered as the leader of Dalits? Clear logic. Your choice, Bhimrao Ambedkar, is sound and 100% true.
Dr. B.R. Ambedkar belonged to the Dash caste.
Sharp thinking. Mahar is the right choice. How many languages are there in the world? Right choice. More than 1600 is the best answer. The Discovery of Indias is a book by Dash. Correct. Jawaharlal Nehru is the right answer. All Indians are equal in the eyes of Dash. Perfect. Law is the correct choice. The total physical divisions in India are smart move. 6 is an accurate answer. What term do we use for disabled person? Excellent choice. Challenged person is the right answer. The feelings of people are hurt by dash. Well reasoned. Prejudice is the correct choice. How many languages are spoken in India? Nice selection. More than 1600 is the correct and valid answer. Functions of government is carried by. Nicely done. The organs of government is a solid answer. Which region is called Little Tiber? Right again. Ladakh is a valid answer. Does diversity lead to discrimination? On track? Yes, it can is the correct answer.
National Anthem of India is written by?
Bravo! Rabindranath Tagore is the answer.
Dash has been practiced in our society.
Great thinking. Discrimination is the right choice.
In which year apartheid was abolished?
Exactly. 1991 makes sense, and it is right choice.
Where is Korgon located these days?
You're right. Maharashtra is the correct answer.
Who fought for the rights of Dalits?
Excellent. Dr. Bimrao Ambedkar is a brilliant choice.
Who drafted the Indian Constitution?
Nice work. You chose Dr. Bimrao Ambedkar, and it is correct. When did India become a free nation? Well done. 1947 is the right choice. Who fought against the inequalities? Good thinking. All of the above is the right answer. All Indians speak the same language. Well picked. False is the correct answer.
Discrimination is prejudice in dash.
Exactly. Action makes sense and it is right choice. Where did Dr. B.R. Ambedkar was born? Right choice. Mo is the best answer.
Who is the head of Gram Panchayat?
Well reasoned. Sarpanch is the correct choice. APJ Abdul Kalam was graduated in? Bravo. Physics is the answer. All Indians are one despite their... Right again. Differences is a valid answer. Dash is not allowed in our country. Excellent. Untouchability is a brilliant choice. The caste system is a form of dash. Strong choice. Inequality is the right answer.
What is meant by term diversity?
Well done. Difference is the right choice.
Discrimination is the opposite of.
Valid point, equality is true. There are dash languages in India. Solid response. 1600 is a valid choice.
Power to make one's own decisions.
On track. Self-sovereignty is the correct answer.
Girls are generally known to dash.
You got it. Your choice be discriminated is right.
Kerala is well known for its dash.
Great job. Spices is the accurate answer. Dr. Ambedkar was the group of dash. Correct response. Mahar is the most accurate answer.
Who were called as untouchables?
Correct. Lower caste is the right answer.
Who belongs to the Mahar caste?
Nicely done. B.R. Ambedkar is a solid answer. Prejudice can be based on dash. Nice work. You chose all of the above and it is correct. Jyoti Rao Govidrao Phule was. You chose reformer and it is correct. Dash leads to discrimination. Smart move. Prejudice and stereotypes is an accurate answer. Gandhi ji called Shudrasya Desh. You're right. Hygiene is the correct answer. Dash was an inhuman practice. Clear logic. Your choice, untouchability, is sound and 100% true.
India is not a secular state.
Nice selection. False is the correct and valid answer.
Father of Indian Constitution?
Perfect. Dr. B.R. Ambedkar is the correct choice.
Caste system is an example of.
Great thinking. Social stratification is the right choice.
When we fix people in an image.
Excellent choice. Stereotypes is the right answer.
The India got freedom in dash.
Good thinking. 1947 is the right answer.
Dr. Ambedkar was born on dash.
Good job. Your answer 1891 works well here.
I was a flourishing meeting.
Smart pick. Dr. Ambedkar is the correct choice.
The term Harijan means dash. Sharp thinking. Children of God is the right choice. This statement is for girls.
Well done. Cook very good food is the right choice.
When do boys and girls cry?
Well reasoned. All of these is the correct choice.
India became independent on.
Excellent choice. 15th August 1947 is the right answer.
India is a secular country.
Correct response. True is the most accurate answer.
India became a dash country?
Exactly. Secular makes sense and it is right choice.
For Ladakh is also called it.
Smart pick. Small Tibet is the correct choice. And the free Geliola by. Well picked. Amritsar is the correct answer.
APJ Abdul Kalam was born in.
Good thinking. Rameswaram is the right answer. They are physically strong.
Sharp thinking. Boys is the right choice.
Ladakh is famous for dash.
Smart move. Pashmina shawls is an accurate answer.
Prejudice results in dash. You got it? Your choice unfair behavior is right.
The types of government.
On track. Democracy, dictatorship and monarchy is the correct answer.
The levels of government.
Strong choice. Central statilocal is the right answer.
Living in a city is dash.
Great thinking. Expensive is the right choice.
Dr. Ambedkar died on dash.
You're right. 1956 is the correct answer.
India is a dash country.
Great job.
Secular is the accurate answer.
Discrimination is a dash. Solid response. Social evil is a valid choice.
3 long form of COVID-19.
Good job. Your answer coronavirus disease 19 works well here.
Dalit word is used for.
Clear logic. Your choice Shudrasya is sound and 100% true.
Why do boys don't cry?
Right again. They are brave is a valid answer.
What does crying mean?
Excellent. A sign of weakness is a brilliant choice.
The law-making organ.
Right choice. Legislature is the best answer.
5 India is known for.
Perfect. Unity and diversity is the correct choice.
What is diversity?
Nicely done. People of different cultures is a solid answer.
Dalit means dash.
Correct. Broken is the right answer.
Prejudice means
Bravo! Looking people negatively is the answer.
Diversity means
You chose being different. And it is correct. Unity in dash. Valid point. Diversity is true. A social evil. Nice work. You chose discrimination, and it is correct. How you will get all these quiz questions in PDF books format?
nice selection. Contact Narayan Changdar on Facebook is the correct and valid answer.